Hello and welcome to Derry Community Television. My name is Kimberley Haas. Thank you so much for watching this program today. We are super excited to announce a new series that's going to be running on our public access station. It is Legislators Lounge with Brian Chirichiello and Jim Webb. Welcome to the studio today, gentlemen, to introduce the series. Maybe I could have each of you tell everybody at home a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Kim. I appreciate it. People at home will probably know me as Derry Town Councilor, which I've been for the last 9 years. As a matter of fact, tomorrow's my last Town Council meeting after 9 years, so I'll miss that. But really excited to be up at the state level. This is my second term as a state representative. And prior to that, I did probably about 6 or 7 years on the planning board. Also did some time with cable TV as the past chairman there, and I'm very proud to see how far cable TV's gone since those days. But that's a little bit about me, and look forward to the new show.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Kimberley. My name is Jim Webb. Some people know me from around town, my blue signs. But I'm excited about this new series that we're going to be doing, and my past is that I was on the zoning board for a while, and then from the zoning board I became a state representative. This is also my second term as a state representative, and I'm on the Fish and Game Committee up at the state, which handles a lot of different types of bills. I'm also on the county executive board for the Rockingham County, and my particular section that I'm dealing with there this term, I'm with the Registry of Deeds. Last term I was on the Finance Committee. I'm also a trustee of the trust funds here in Derry, and I'm hoping that this series will work out pretty good, and I'm excited to be part of it.
Yeah, we think it's going to work out wonderfully. We're very excited about it. It's going to be totally different than our Sit Down With series, where we interview elected officials for Channel 17, our government access channel. This show on the public access channel, you guys can really open things up to a whole new level and talk about some of the different things that are happening in Concord. In your 2 terms in Concord, what do you think are the things that you notice the most that people at home in Derry may not realize are going on?
Well, I mean, we see a lot of bills that come towards us, and you know, we've got to look at how those bills can affect not only the town of Derry, the folks here, but statewide as well. And I'm guessing we probably, Jim, we must see at least 300-400 bills that go through every year. So there's a lot of information out there, and you'd be surprised as to how it would affect everyday life in New Hampshire.
And it must be a lot of work to try to sort through all those bills and really understand what each of them means.
Well, that's part of the one of the things that we do see up there in Concord, which I was quite surprised at when I first got up there, is the speed that everything goes at. And we have quite a few constituents calling us, writing us, please support this bill number. And it's so fast-paced that just the bill number isn't good enough. If you tell us what it's about, it's a little easier for us to reference it. But what we do, we can go on the website and get that information on that bill and know what they're talking about. And that's usually what we do. I actually have it saved as a favorite on my website because of that. It's such a hard thing to know a number, because last year I believe there was 1,600 bills put in out of 1,600. So it's very difficult to understand and see what's going on because it happens so fast. Everything moves fast up there.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest concerns that the constituents call you about?
Oh, I mean, for me, it's mixed. I mean, it could be as simple as someone that wants to go diving into the ocean and pick up a couple of lobsters. We got a bunch of those emails.
That's what it's
to more intense things like gambling. You know, and that's been a big question for the state for a long time. This time around, we see the governor supporting that. We see the Senate supporting it. The big question mark will be, will the House support it? That's going to have, it'll be big for the town of Derry. And I hope that we'll be able to discuss that on one of our shows in greater detail. So it's really a mix of information.
Another big issue we have, this year that's coming up is the tax issue. There are some our bridges and roads need to be repaired. Nobody is doubting that. Derry being a commuter town, most people, a lot of people in Derry actually drive to Massachusetts. And for us to simply raise the price of gas 17 cents a gallon or 15 cents a gallon could be devastating to some people. So we going to have a challenging year, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot on the plate, and there's a lot at stake. What are some of the types of things that you want to discuss outside of the House bills on your show? Do you want to interview people one-on-one? What's the format going to be?
Yeah, I think we'd like to get a wide range of information that will, anything, topics that would affect people in the town of Derry. I envision it as being nonpartisan and very informational in a timely fashion. One of the things that Jim and I want to do is make it as interactive as possible. So you'll see that we've set up a website. We're going to ask people to send in questions. We're going to ask people what they want to see. So it won't be real time, but at least we'll have the information back and forth. I think that's new and kind of exciting as well. So what do you think, Jim?
Actually, I set up the website and it's up and running. It's derrylounge.com, and if you log on to that website, you'll see it's under construction right now because we really don't have a lot to put on it yet. But as we add to it, we're hoping to have past shows that you'll be able to click on and link on and watch some of our past shows. Future shows coming up with the future guests that are going to be on the show. That way, if you have a particular question for that guest, you'd be able to actually send us the question, and then we can present the question to the guest when they get on the show. So that's where the interactive part would come in, and if you have any suggestions, comments, anything like that on the show, I mean, we're more than welcome to any opinions anybody might have, good or bad. We'll listen to everyone.
What's the name of the website again so people at home can jot it down?
It's derrylounge.com. And that's the www.derrylounge.com.
Excellent.
Hopefully you can put it on a graphic underneath there.
Yes, absolutely. We'll make sure that we add that. And when you think about what you would like to see happen with this show, in a year or 2 years, how do you envision it growing and changing over the course of time?
Well, do you want to go?
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
All right. I'm hoping that the show becomes popular enough where people will be contacting us wanting to be on the show, where we won't, where the interactive part of it is that somebody might want to, like for instance, come election time, Derry is huge as on the political side around election time, especially presidential elections. Just about every major candidate comes to Derry, whether they go to Mary Ann's Diner or they come in and have some sort of thing at the Opera House. Or every major candidate comes to Derry because Derry is huge on the political side. So hopefully maybe you might be able to get some of those people to come onto the show as well.
And we really noticed that within the last year. And you're right, a lot of those people who are running for political office do come to Derry. And oftentimes many of those same people, especially when things are starting, like before the nomination and everything, they do enjoy going to public access stations like ours. So hopefully we will get the chance to see them on the program as well. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I agree with Jim. I think we're going to see a lot of different influential people come through. That's what my hope is anyway. I'd like to talk and interview our governor. Maybe ask some questions about the budget. That'd be one area that I'd like to see. Maybe the Speaker of the House, maybe the prior Speaker of the House, and just get the information to the people that they can look at and make a decision of how those type of things will affect them in their everyday life. So I envision quite a lot of influential people coming through.
Right. And so if people at home who are watching the program have some questions or some recommendations for you, they can get in touch with you through the website?
Yeah, there are email addresses on the website already. Those I put up right away. There's one for questions, one for comments, one for information if you want to contact us. Then there's one for Brian and myself. So those are the email addresses that are up there right now. Brian's would be brian@derrylounge.com. Mine would be jim@derrylounge.com.
Oh, good. You didn't put my last name in there? That's good. People tend to misspell it all the time, but
Yeah.
make it nice and easy for me. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's just Brian. So
Right.
it's easy, and no dots, no anything. So,
Excellent.
and then there's info@derrylounge.com and questions@derrylounge.com. And we're really hoping that the public will really get involved in this, where we can get some quality questions for the candidates, or not just the candidates, the guests that come on the show, because that's what we want to do is we really want to try to inform the public as to the process of government and how it works, and if we have the people that are actually presenting these laws and writing these laws here, answering the questions from the public, I think it's probably one of the better ways to go.
I think so often that we don't understand how the state government and how the federal government works. We just hear a news clip and we expect instant results. The general public tends to not understand the process. So you can really bring that to the forefront because you're there, you're living it every day.
Right, right. And we're fortunate in Derry to have 10 reps. So it's nice because each one of us reps is on a different committee. And that's where you really hear the debate on these bills in committee, you know. So I think we can, from that standpoint, there's a wide range of information that we can share all of collectively as state reps. And I'm sure we'll be bringing on other state reps from Derry as well to answer some of the important questions. So from that standpoint, it's nice because we can actually share information. And it's a lot easier than maybe a small community, you know, so.
I would agree with that, and I remember last session when we're freshmen, so we really didn't know what we were doing last session in the beginning, and I can remember, well, is this good for Derry or is this bad for Derry? We weren't sure, so we all got together out in the anteroom and we kind of discussed what the effects would be on Derry, and as a whole, we voted for Derry, and sometimes, you know, you have up at the State House, you have different factions, you know, Republican, Democrat, Libertarians, whatever. You have factions that all tend to vote one way or the other way. Generally here in Derry, our reps tend to vote for Derry. It doesn't really matter what the bill is. You know, it may not be too popular with the Republicans, it may not be too popular with the Democrats or so forth, but we tend to vote for what's good for Derry.
And that's very true. I noticed that with all of our state representatives. Everybody's very conscientious, everybody's very pro-Derry, and everybody wants to work together. It seems like, especially, you know, amongst our group of state representatives in Concord. So hopefully that approach will come through with the show. It sounds like it's going to be a great community project and something that everybody at home can be involved in. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add?
No, I think we've pretty much set the tone for the new show. Jim, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I'm just looking over my notes to make sure that I got everything, but I would just like to say that I hope that people will participate by sending us questions and people that might want to be on the show. We'd be more than happy to entertain you know, the idea, and if they'd like to send us some information, if they want to be on the show, they can get it from info@derrylounge.com, and we can send them back something. And of course, we won't be able to accommodate everybody, but you know, we'll do our best at trying to really bring Derry's issues out in on the show, and whether they be local, state, or federal. So.
And I want to stress one more thing too, that again, you know, it's going to be nonpartisan. It's more about the information than trying to sway people's opinions. The more information that we can provide, I think the better. We let the people decide which way they look at a certain bill. or which way they come on a certain issue. So that's what we're really going to strive for, make it fair and get as much information to the public as we possibly could.
And in the long run, it really is all about that. It's about the process. It's about the voter deciding, and that's the fabric of our democracy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming, Brian and Jim. We really appreciate the opportunity to hear all about this news show, and we hope everybody at home takes the chance to watch this program and get involved. This is a great example of how you can change what you see on Derry Community Television and how you can be a part of this great community project. Once again, my name is Kimberley Haas. Have a great day.